spent my first 15 years trying to get out of the woods because I thought it was horrible. And I spent the next 20 years trying to get back. The truth of the matter is we need to be well-rounded individuals like our forefathers were.
Yeah, buddy. Welcome back. Mountain Readiness Monday. It is 8 p.m. Eastern Time here in Appalachian. T here with Mountain Readiness. I have been busy. And before we bring our guest on, I'm going to go over a couple things here. Of course, tonight we're going to have Randy with Troysgate, Randy Martin, the awesome, the infamous, the amazing Randy Martin. And he always shares all kinds of awesome stuff with us. But that video that just popped up, you know, our intro video from last May, of course, guys, everybody that was in that video pretty much is going to be here. I was just talking with Carl. He's added a couple more awesome classes. Yes, I know I have not sent the schedule out yet because I'm adding some classes and I had to move some stuff around. But you will have that schedule, I mean, very, very soon. Wednesday, that schedule will be published. It's going to be awesome. And the classes are amazing. We've got music. We've got great food. We pulled out all the stops. All we need now is you, yourself, and some awesome weather. So fingers crossed on that, y'all. But remember, like, share, subscribe. We've got quite a few people out in here. Teresa, Diana, we've got Guy. There's the lovely Christy Renee. What's going on, girl? Can't wait to see you either. Mike is dad, 7. I mean, we've got the full house. Everybody's coming in here. If you would, give us some love there on social media. Like, hit them buttons, some hearts, some whatever, you know, I don't know all the emojis that go along with this garbage, but it helps us out. So let's also talk about our sponsor, of course, is Matt, the official brush beater, the official sponsor of Mountain Readiness 2025, brushbeaterstore.com. Look, guys, remember the tariffs. Not sure what's going to happen with that. It's not looking good. All kinds of ridiculousness going on in the world right now. But if you have any thoughts about upgrading, updating, or just breaking into thermal, IR, night vision, of course, NC Scout, Brush Beater, brushbeater.com is the place to be. And if you are going to be at Mountain Readiness, we will have Friday night the demo where you can put your hands on all this awesome equipment, play around with it, and make the decision if it's for you. I will tell you, I am in the market for a thermal. It's just a game changer. And just for the purpose of the homestead, like out here in the woods, I am surrounded by the woods, 67,000 acres of game land that we butt up to. I've got bears, coyotes, skunks, fox. I mean, there's any type of critter that you could possibly imagine running around back here. And those thermals are a game changer of being able to keep up on the homestead and watch out for our animals. So check out Mr. NC Scout Brush Beater. Without further ado, someone who also has some classes available after Mountain Readiness, Monday the 5th, we're going to have Randy. Randy said we're going to run a Troysgate on Monday the 5th, 9 a.m. over at the Troysgate facility. Come see me or Randy at Mountain Readiness if you want a spot. And it's going to be a blast, guys. If you've been there, refresh. Get back up there, do the things. It's like anything. It's a perishable skill. Your mind is a perishable skill. Get back out there if you've already done it. Stay up on top of it. I'm long overdue. I've been fiending to put a round in Zach for a while now. I got to get back after it. So make sure, and if you haven't been, it is life-changing. You need to go. So without further ado, make sure to scan that QR code up here on the screen. There it is. And that will take you to the Troysgate site. Any of the questions that you may have, if you can't have them answered, throw them here in the comment and put like Troysgate. Let's put hashtag Troysgate for all your comments tonight for Randy. And of course, big thanks to the Russ of Oz back behind there pushing the buttons. If you would, Russ, bring out our guest. And there he is, just like that. Poof.
Magic.
What's going on, brother? It's been a while. We've just been nonstop busy. I know you have too. What have you been doing in your neck of the woods?
We have been nonstop. Been working with a couple attorneys that would represent people that would have to use deadly force and get them educated up where they need to be, so they can explain it to the courts how complicated this stuff really is. So we've been up to a lot of stuff. Met with Dave Grossman a couple of weeks ago. He's writing a book, and then he's probably going to interject some of the things that we've learned here into his next book that he's working on. So we're busy, and now I'm working on a project with the Secret Service, which is driving me insane.
Right, which has been an ongoing thing.
It has been, but there'll be tomorrow that I have new stuff to deal with. So I'll live day to day. But now, we've been doing a lot with police departments up here and different guests, business people, military folks. I mean,
right.
We haven't been extremely busy, but we've been busy enough, I guess.
Have you seen kind of changes with everything going on? I mean, and I've talked, I try not to get too deep into politics, but at the same time, I voted for Trump. I know you did as well. We have these tariffs on the horizon that they're talking about. It looks like a lot of craziness and turmoil all over the world. What's your outtake on what we've got moving forward with 2025?
Our country really was heading down a bad way because we were so far in debt. And this is just my opinion. So, we're having a self-check, and with that comes pain. Anytime you try to self-check. In the business world, of course, a lot of the contracting officers are being moved around. And then there's a freeze on paying contracts right now. So there's a freeze on us actually being paid for work that we're doing until I think maybe toward the end of May, sometime in June, when they get this audit done with whom I'm working with. So again, it's affected me pretty hard on that end, but it is what it is.
I think it's affected. I hate to say this, but I don't see a lot of price drops. Gas hasn't really changed a lot. Groceries are, I think, more expensive from what I've seen. I just got my tax bill for the property here, and I don't know if you got one of those, but I hear it's about across the board. 85% is what my home went up. It just poof. All of a sudden, my place is worth almost twice as much as far as the tax office is concerned. And, I'm seeing these things. I'm seeing these hardships. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of crazy stuff either with the weather, but I'm going to tell you, man, the haze that I've seen in the skies. I was talking to our good friend Billy Bond over there with Permapastures Farm, saying the same thing. It's like, I'm not super happy with the first part of this year. I had a lot higher expectations.
Well, I knew there was going to be a change, but again, personal opinion, it's hard to run a nation like a company. I do know that we need to trim the fat, but you got to be careful about cutting the meat with the fat because you'll injure the animal.
Yes.
So again, I'm hopeful, and I think I think we'll be okay. It's just we'll just have to wait and see.
And let me.
When you're building, see, I started working on this one project back around 21. Well, since 21, inflation has really hit us like 30, 40, 50, 60% on some of the steel that we're dealing with. So it's really hit us hard. Trying to get that money back is like, man, I don't know. I don't know that I ever will.
I'm the same. And let me bring this up here. Mike's dad, I want a trip to Troysgate at Fallout. Hope it'll be good Monday after Mountain Readiness. Bring it. Bring yourself on over, man. We're gonna have a party. So yes, I'm sure that is honored, and I know there's a couple other people that are going to be signing up. I told them to go ahead and come over as well. So we should have a good time over there. We've got some people of interest, as well as all of us average Joes like myself. I will be there a little bit later in the morning. I've got, of course, right after Mountain Readiness, it's clean up and running and moving stuff for the next week. But I will be there a little bit later in the morning to hang out with you guys over there. And for all y'all that haven't been there, man, you need to sign up. Come see me or Randy. Well, first off, go and see Randy you're going to be there Friday and Saturday. You're going to have a couple of your classes in the Troysgate trailer there. Go watch those, and then know that what you watch is not even close to what you're going to be experiencing in person. It's just, I can't talk enough about how awesome the training is that you put together over there, Randy.
Well, you can't explain it. I guess my analogy would be like, Top Gun. You're watching a movie of Top Gun and you're in a rush. Well, at Troysgate, you're in the jet. You're doing what they're doing. So that adrenaline rush is going to be probably similar to what it's like to actually doing that.
Yes.
I would assume.
So it is. It's phenomenal.
On that May the 5th, the president of the Chiefs of Police of North Carolina will also be there for a little while,
awesome.
along with a couple police chiefs and some legal folks.
Yes.
We're working on there's an app that I'm working with, and this app is like a add up money app. So when you use your debit card, the loose change would go into a pocket. So we're starting a new fund for people who get involved in deadly situations. It's not done yet, but we're working on it. And then this app, you would put this app on your phone, the Troysgate app, and your loose change would go into the legal fund of Troysgate, and then we would provide you free of charge. No extra charges, as long as you're a member of that. Any legal services, just for loose change. So we're actually starting that. That's why the Chiefs of the Police guys going to be here, because that's something that we're going to allow law enforcement also to pursue in case they get involved in a deadly encounter. They can just use their loose change to kind of help them through the legal system. That makes sense.
Well, let me say that's like one of the most American things I've heard all year long. Like, not only are you training people to be able to prepare themselves if worst case scenario happens, but then as well as I do, when something bad happens like this and you are faced with that decision, it doesn't matter right or wrong. The legal fees can end up astronomical. And then what do? The average guy that's just bringing home a paycheck, paying the bills, raising, take care of his family. All of a sudden you're sitting in a courtroom and then what? Last thing you want to do is end up in jail and you did what you should have done. It's just their lawyer was better than yours.
And that, my friend, we're going to change. So again, I've been having a group of attorneys coming over that we're putting on our list. Those attorneys are Troysgate educated, not trained, but educated. So they understand the complexities of deadly force. So when they get on the stand, and all we have to do is cause reasonable doubt to the jury. We cause reasonable doubt to the jury, and they hopefully are not not charged. So again, we have a lot of data and a lot of information that can help people if they actually go to trial because they had to use force of any kind, whether it's hands or with a gun.
Right. No, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. I'm on board 100%. Let us know what we can do to help out with that, to push it out when you go live with that. Another thing I'm really looking forward to is that you and Carl Erickson, tactical rifleman, is going to be at Mountain Readiness, and he does the same thing for his students. Is if they get hemmed up, he will go and represent on their behalf. He's been in a courtroom many times doing just that thing. So that would be somebody. Hopefully, you guys can get together and you push this app out. That just adds. That's icing on the cake.
And two, while we're just talking about this stuff, possibly join forces on that. I want to join forces with a lot of different organizations, even with the FOP and the PBA, with the law enforcement side. And then again, they're human. They just get in situations. Everybody thinks they're Superman because they put on a gun and a badge, and they've had this training of what not to do. And then they do something that is normal for a human to do in that situation. The next thing you know, they're in prison. Don't even know why they're there.
Right. Can't even remember what happened and why they ended up there. And that's the worst part about this. And speaking from, I've been there I can't remember, 13, 14 times. It's been a while, but it's been a bit. And like I said earlier, before we brought you in, is I've been having some withdrawals, some Zach withdrawals. I'm not gonna lie. I need to see my brother from another mother and get in the room with him. But that first time I went through there, I was under the impression, I'm like, whatever, fake. Yes, I don't know what Sue's talking, and go in there and if you've ever seen Charlie Brown, the teacher, that's what I experienced. Everything choked down to this big and wah, 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 and a few swear words here and there. That's it. That's all I got. And I was just basically watching for a gun to pop out, but I couldn't understand what they were saying. I lost all track of how many times I fired. And, that's why Troysgate is so great, because you're in that safe area, but it doesn't feel safe at all.
No, it does not feel safe at all. So again, we've been doing this, about 13 years now. And there's a certain police department that comes here every year that we test new ideas with, or test new ideas on. And this year we did a little something different. We slowed everything down. So the first time through, we want to give you a wild ride, because it's that wild ride that you usually get into when you go into a gunfight. And then we've toned it down, and I've slowed the actors down so that the brain can catch up with what's actually going on. And I tell you what, the value these officers got out of this was absolutely tremendous from their comments. So again, we're learning. We want to give you an adrenaline rush. We want you to see how fast things go bad. But we also want you to take something of value away from it. So when you leave from here, you're prepared, I think. And that's Mountain Readiness. Be prepared.
Be prepared. Stay ready. I and that's what I loved about it too, because the first scenario, you're in a complete, your mind is in chaos. You have no idea what just happened. You come out, and I could recollect, he was like, hey, what did he have? And I could say, yeah, he had a shotgun, he had this, his pump action. But at the same time, I can see how it could be completely misconstrued, because there was a lot of things that I did not see that was just blatant in your face. And I won't say what those things are, but like most people don't even realize this. And, but then that second scenario, I had a little bit of a confidence boost. I'm like, okay, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to nail this. I'm going to smoke these fools, and it's going to be game over. And then you get the rude awakening. But by the end, that third scenario, everything slowed down, being able to bring the perspective of the picture, just everything opened up. I can hear what they're saying. I can see what they're doing. And it's just amazing. That's just one day, a few hours, and look at what your mind does in just a couple hours of sucking all that information and knowledge in.
You know, Zach is like the gruffest looking man you would ever see. And somehow in people's minds, he turns into a woman. Now, how does that even happen? I don't even know.
Sure.
So this last week we were doing a class, and the actor reached in to pull out a shotgun, Remington 870 black. Well, when I'm asked this guy the questions, I said, well, what did he do? What did you see? He said, I saw him pull out a blue gun. And he said there were 100 blue guns everywhere. There were no blue guns. But the brain painted the gun blue, and it created a bunch of them. So really, it's fascinating to me still yet, because I see all this stuff and hear all this stuff from these people.
Oh, that's mind blowing. Yeah. And I can see how it can happen. You know, we were even talking about the case of the female officer who had pulled she thought she pulled her taser, you remember? And she ended up dumping a mag in the guy in the seat, the driver's seat. And the whole time she's squeezing the trigger, she's saying taser, 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 you know? And just that alone, like, you know, most people, without doing something like Troysgate, of course they crucify that woman. They crucify that officer. They're like, oh, come on. You know, that she should go to jail. She just lack of training. That's what happened there. Well, that's true. Lack of training mentally, because the mind, just like the rest of your body, you got to train it. And so what you're doing gives that opportunity, to do that training that you usually wouldn't be able to do without actually doing the deed. We got old Chris Weatherman in the house. Chris, what's going on, brother? Of course, Chris, he has experienced Troysgate quite a few times, and he can attest to how good the training is over there. Like, for me, it was life-changing for me, to be completely honest.
You know, that again, I come from the world of law enforcement and been a law enforcement trainer for over 40 years now. When I've done a lot of training for SWAT and different law enforcement, from the rookie all the way up. And then, I was teaching what I was taught, and I was teaching what I learned for the experiences that I've learned. And then I got into this part of Troysgate where we do studies on human behavior. And again, the logical brain, when we're watching TV and we're watching this show like we're watching now, our logical brain's at work. So we're safe. We're able to think clearly. So that's what we think people should be in, and they're not. So once something happens, so somebody comes to your door, or trying to kick your door in, that logical brain quits working. And then the survival brain kicks in. So I'm thinking, where's my gun? Do I remember where I put my gun? When I get my gun, can I put the bullets in it? They're not in it. Can I get the lock off of it? And when you're in that survival brain, you have massive failures. And then they tell us that training overrides that. And I disagree, my friend. I work with the best of the best. Believe me. And then when we put them in some of these situations, learning their gun, pointing their gun, loading ammo, reaching and loading the mag, training absolutely helps with that. But that once you go into that survival brain and you're going into what you deal with up here, and that survival brain kicks in, you don't really know what you're going to do till you do it. And then watching people for all these years, I was seeing people kill people for no reason. I mean, it was like crazy stuff, and I couldn't understand it. Well, there's another part of this human behavior, and that's the deadly brain. And I've got a couple of videos I'll explain that. When that killing brain or the deadly brain kicks in, you can't turn it off. So when you see officers shooting people in the back, that person that they shoot that person in the back did something to trigger that killing brain of that officer or the homeowner or whoever it may be that triggers that part of the brain. And when that part of the brain is actually triggered, you can't turn it off at all. And again, for me, I'll just tell you the story. I'm dealing with a baby. A guy took a baby hostage. He's got a shotgun. I finally, just to shorten the story up, I get close enough to him where I can take the shotgun, I thought. So I grabbed the butt, style of the shotgun, hit him upside the head, and he drops his child, and he points the shotgun down and pulls the trigger and actually burns the side of my face. Well, my brain said, kill it. But I could not remember to get my gun out to kill it because I'd already holstered my gun because if I hadn't, he would have shot me earlier than that. And then I don't remember what happened to the baby. I don't remember what happened to the shotgun. I just remembered thinking I got to kill it. And then I felt somebody touch me on the shoulder, which they told me later on that they drugged me off of it. I don't recall that at all, but I do remember when they touched me looking down and seeing a bloody face. I have no recall of that, even to this day. I can see the shotgun blast come out. I hear no sound. There was no sound with it at all. I didn't even feel it. I just, later on, I noticed where it burnt the side of my face. I felt no burning to the face whatsoever. So my killing brain activated for the first time. And I thought, man, how's that even possible? Well, I'm able to see things like that now in a controlled environment. So we can take you from the logical brain and take you into the survival brain. And if we push, we can get you into that killing brain and let you experience what it's like when you have no control over anything that you're doing. You're just responding, trying to stay alive in a deadly event. Over.
Which we have seen. I have personally seen this. It is shocking, some of these scenarios that you see, the reactions of people. I mean, and at the same time, you know, it's not 500 years ago when violence was a regular thing. You know, we don't live per se. I mean, yeah, violence is around, but we don't live in an everyday violence, you know, like we used to. You know, that there's not a lot of it anymore. I remember fighting MMA. I started doing cage fighting. I cage fight for about 7 years. And, you know, those first few fights, you are in a blur. You hear nothing. People are screaming. I remember I got out of the ring. I was covered in blood and beer. People were throwing beer cans. It was some flop, you know, bar / fight. It was like Fight Club with a bunch of drunks. The Kamikaze in Indianapolis. It was just a train wreck, but had no recollection, didn't feel any pain, didn't hear anyone screaming, didn't see anything. The only thing I saw was directly in front of me, the guy I'm fighting with. And it was kind of a blur too. But after a couple years of doing this, it was amazing what the brain was capable of, because even though I knew I was going to get hit, the brain slowed it down where I would actually see that punch coming. I'm like, oh shit, that one's going to catch me. You know, the brain was reacting that fast before it happened. And what you're doing there at Troysgate with the training, it does the exact same thing for your brain with these deadly scenarios that you set up.
You know, that's a good analogy. Most policemen, and I go back to the police world, have never killed anybody, you know. And then when that moment comes, we're creatures of patterns. So I use that for an example. So I pull over a car, I walk up, they gave me the driver's license, I pull over another one, I pull over another one. Well, after about a dozen of them, my brain has learned that pattern. So I may pull over 99 cars and go up to the 100th car, and I ask for the driver's license, and they show me a gun. Well, my brain is not used to that change. And even though I do officer survival training and I go to the range, I shoot all these bullets, I do all this stuff, I'm still in shock, kind of, because I'm trying to react to something that was totally unexpected, and it catches off guard. And when that happens, that triggers that survival brain, and then we pull them out of the car and beat the crap out of them, or shoot them, or whatever we need to do, because we're trying to survive that event. Same way with we're creatures of pattern. So we go home, we go to bed every night, everything's the same. Then all of a sudden, 2 o'clock in the morning, we hear something in our living room. Well, that pattern has been broken, and then our brain is trying to catch up. Look, what do I do? How do I approach it? Do I get my gun, my flashlight? And then we're trying to catch up with stuff that we don't plan for because we don't practice getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning and going to a sound. So
Right.
And that's where the training kicks in. So you gotta do things before it happens. So when it happens, you have data and information to pull from your brain to respond to that type of behavior.
I mean, that's a great way of putting it, what you said there, that creatures of habit thing. And it is, because training, you fall back on your level of training, there's no doubt about that. It helps you. But at the same time, there's all these other variables that your brain is running through in a split second. Should I shoot this person? This is an actual human right here. What are the repercussions of taking that life? All that stuff flying through your brain all at the same time. So, being able to use the training that you do there and at Troysgate to slow everything down and actually have, like you said, pull that data. I've already done this before. I believe you've even said, people have said, man, all I did was I saw Zach. I saw Zach there when I had this confrontation.
Well, I waxed him. I saw Zach. You see Zach. But that brain imprints that, you will have a permanent memory once you go through this of actually coming up here. And that's part of the information that you get. Again, the brain does crazy stuff. And you made a comment about, you fall back to your level of training. Well, okay, let's talk about training, man. We go to the range. We learn how to run our gun. We load it. Then we find a target, and we put our eyes on the sights, and we squeeze the trigger, and we try to make that score of 100. Okay, and then we put up paper of somebody with a gun or holding a kid hostage, and we shoot that paper. And then we put in, we'll get some avatars. We'll put some virtual world on our head, and then we'll look at these avatars, which our brain knows is fake, and then we'll shoot toy guns or sometimes real guns at them. But the brain knows it's fake. So the brain does not really see this stuff as actual shooting of real humans. So Troysgate takes your brain off of the range and out of the virtual world into the reality world of what it's going to be like to engage in deadly battle. And there's nobody out there that can even come close to what we're doing. And that, my friend,
not even close.
Challenge
not even
me.
Close.
Come up with it, challenge me. That's what I tell everybody.
No, I agree. It's next level, Randy. It's next level, and it's helped me with, and now I guarantee you, even with being away for since I think the last time I was up there was last year, last October. And, it was last October because Pete had his class up there is, even then, just being away from a few months, I'm sure I could go up there and the brain has still got those nuggets to pull from, that information to work with. And it does help. I mean, it every time I go through the scenarios, it changes who I am. It makes me a better person, in my opinion. It does. Being able just to have the confidence level to know if something like this happens, to be able to handle yourself. Or, the other side of this, let's be honest, if I'm going to fall down and cry and pee my pants, I'd rather do it at Troysgate than in a real life situation, right? Because the last thing I want is to be found dead and pissed myself on top of it. Let's just know now. That's where I'm at with it.
And we see those behaviors,
yeah.
And what we, again, we play and we have fun. But throughout the day, this is some real serious stuff, and it's hard, but it's something that you need to experience so you know what you're capable of. You'll know if you really have it to be lethal or not. Now, I did have one. I don't put it in play anymore. I called it the Assassin's Box, and I had a couple churches up here. So I had a Christian church, and then I had a Jewish temple folks here, a security teams, what they were. But I had Jewish folks and I had Christian folks here. Well, I gave them a situation of there's been a guy breaking your house. He's killed your wife and your daughter, and he's gone to trial, and they've declared a mistrial, and they've set him free. And he's in the building that we're getting ready to go to. And I showed him a picture of what he looked like. I said, show me what you would do to that person. Amazes me still yet. I mean, really. The Christians went up there, and I had him set up when you open the door, Bob. I don't even think I've shown you this one because I shut it down because people were wetting in their pants, and they were doing other things in their pants that they shouldn't be. And I thought, well, maybe this is too strong. Well, I put the Christians in it, and he went in and opened the door, and there this guy stood, and he's holding his hands up, begging for his life. The Christians, I think there were like 7 or 8 of them, I can't remember, couldn't shoot him because he really, literally looks like he's in front of you, and you've got a loaded gun shooting him in the head to take him out. They couldn't. I took the Jewish folks up there. Every one of them waxed him without hesitation. And I think it's based off, the Christian faith is thou shalt not kill.
Right.
The Jewish faith is thou shalt not commit murder.
Right.
So I really believe how we've been conditioned based on us growing up, the things that we're around to help us when we need it in that time of need, or help us make those decisions. So that decision to kill somebody that's already took your family out, the Christians can't.
Right.
Jewish Federation folks, different ball game. That's what we've seen in some of our studies.
Mindset. And Mike's dad, we do not supply the pins.
No, I have a box up here.
You do? Never mind. Randy's got it under control now.
We used to actually have some in the number 9, what we call number 9. We had them in the shelf. We pull them out and say, hey, you might need these when you come out.
Here, put those on.
Well, we didn't know what we were doing. We were pushing people beyond their scope of understanding, and really we hurt them, and we shouldn't have pushed them that hard. So we really dialed it down to where when you come here, you're going to get a shock, no doubt about it. But it's going to be a controlled shock to where we're going to cause you some mild trauma. And with that mild trauma, that brain learns how to be resilient toward the real things. It's why we do this in a controlled environment. We're helping your brain get the resiliency that it needs in case it has to actually do it in real time. Over.
Now, just so we're on the same page, I'm a frequent flyer now, Randy, so you can kick it up to the next level. I'll throw that out there. I know Zach has it in for me anyway. I didn't get to go through the last time, and he was like, oh man, we were waiting on you. I was like, I'm going to see you next time for sure. So you've got us some videos. Of course, these videos are awesome. Where do we need to start tonight? I know you've got a presentation. You've got a bunch of stuff. What do you want to start with?
Let's do the one video where he just gets shocked. I can't think. It's not the finger. It's the other video. So let's play it first.
All right.
So this is actually.
Fuck you, motherfucker. I ain't going back to jail, motherfucker. Man, fuck you, son of a bitch. Fuck you. Man, I don't give a fuck who the fuck you want to talk to. Kiss my ass, motherfucker. I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna fucking kill you, motherfucker. You take a man, what the fuck?
So that, my friend, is activating the killing brain. And that was actually an FBI agent that was dealing with him. He pulled out the cell phone. When he pulls out the cell phone, the logical brain is at work. When he points the cell phone, it kicks the survival brain in. So he shoots twice, He shoots twice again, and then the killing brain activates, and then he shoots until his gun is empty. Well, when he comes out, and I'm asking questions about that situation, what did he see? He saw a Glock 19 in detail. He described it in detail. And I brought him in. I showed him the video. He said, "No, that's not what happened." So I had to show him side by side, him shooting him and him doing that, for him to really understand what he did, because he did not remember emptying the gun into the guy. So again, crazy things happen. And then us watching this on the video, we're safe. We're not there. We're looking at, we can clearly see it's a cell phone, but we're safe. We're not there with him saying, "I'm going to kill you." And then his actions are indicating he's going to kill you. And he has a cell phone in his hand. He just caused his own demise, my friend, just by his actions.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean, him seeing, his brain telling him that was a black Glock 19. It's just, and you see it over and over and over. You've had thousands of these that you've run through there, and it still ceases to amaze me, these videos, watching the interactions with people.
Crazy. So this next one, well, we're going to see Zach. He's going to grab a baby. And again, I've got an actor that I used to do this. He started having so many bad nightmares, he can't even do it anymore. We can't even talk to baby in front of him at all. I mean, it just really, it's that disturbing, even for our actors, to do this stuff. Zach has just a blank slate. There's nothing up there. He has, I mean, this.
he's the perfect actor for this. He is. I mean, I can't stress it enough. Like, when I first saw Zach, I was like, holy cow, where did they get this guy from? I mean, he fits the role to the T, man.
He is. All right, so we're going to watch Zach get the baby. They're going to wax him. He's going to be shot, and obviously he's going to be deceased. Well, all right, when you shoot a gun and there's actions that's occurring, that brain unconsciously is looking for things that could create danger. So if it sees anything that could be a danger to it, it will take it out. So let's watch the next video.
Now kill this fucking baby. We'll kill this goddamn baby. Fuck this fucking shit. Fuck you. I hate this fucking baby. I hate this fucking kid. Fuck you. I hate this kid. Fuck this goddamn kid. No! Bitch. Why did you do that?
Took him out too.
That finger, it was an action that the brain perceived to be dangerous, and that was a police officer. So what we done, we come in and we're looking how fast the brain, how long it takes for the brain to catch up with an action that is not a normal human thing. So that's breaking the pattern. Right. So and then when he went down, he pointed that finger. When he pointed that finger, that triggered that survival brain of that policeman. His killing brain kicked in. And he took him out. Didn't mean to. When he came out, right, he said, "I don't know why I shot him. I saw it was a finger." But that action is what started that brain. So if you get pulled over, man, put your hands up. Don't do nothing.
Don't be reaching real quick for your wallet. Oh, grab my wallet.
Exactly.
Isn't that crazy though with the police officer? Like, I think Zach stomped that baby doll about 10 times before the police officer even could realize what was happening. We actually, and I can talk because I was there, and saw her, and she's okay with me talking about this, but we had one of the big homesteaders, Maureen Diaz from God's Good Table, who came over there. And remember, we had the scenario with the baby where the guy was going to hit the baby against the side of the truck, and she shot him before he did any harm to that child. Whereas this police officer, he stomped that baby about 10 times. But that motherly instinct side of her brain, I think, kicked in, and automatically, it was mother hen saved that baby.
That's an interesting subject. It'll probably take us like an hour to even address that one. But when we train policemen, are our protectors. There's a whole lot of rules of engagement that they have to go by. And then they watch the media, and the media is talking about how bad these officers' decisions are being made when they're shooting people in the back, which is it's all a lie. It's every bit a lie. So again, training creates patterns. So training is good, but you've got patterns. You got to do things to break the pattern. So with us, when we bring law enforcement here, they're used to pulling cars over. They're used to writing tickets. Some of them get shot at from time to time. So that's that pattern breaker. So when they come here, they will pull over a vehicle and they will be shots fired. That way we break the pattern of that everyday work. Or they go to domestic violence, or they go to somebody killing a baby, whatever that's not normal for people to do. So that's what we do here. We break the pattern.
Right. No, it's great. Actually, I got to do it. He lets me show this. I think I still have it. Shane, we still got the video of Shane on here, Randy. The cafe. Now, guys, here's what's really awesome. This is what's really awesome about Troysgate. Number one, the price is great. You're getting a full day of training, and they cook up there. I tell you, the property there is gorgeous. And I haven't seen in a while what you've done down at the cabin and the pond down there either, but it's freaking lovely. And you get 3 scenarios. The classroom is awesome. Even the classroom is great. But you also get video from all angles, towards you, towards the actors. Those videos are shipped to you guys. You get to take that home if you want it. Randy and his team will send that to you, and you can review that. You can actually watch, and I've watched mine, 100 times. Be like, oh man, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. Putting your hand up. I'm a hand talker. I'm always this, sign language, and right out of the gate, throw that hand up there. And I don't even remember putting my hand up there, so that was something that now I critique myself all the time. I broke myself of that habit by seeing the mistakes that I was making that I didn't even realize we were making. We actually had, remember John Paul went up there and his sister last October, and she put her hand up there. You remember she put her hand up, and she come out, and of course she had a misfire too with her pistol, if I remember correctly. And John, he was like, "Oh, Claire, you shouldn't have done that, and you should do this." He went in and did the exact same thing. Stuck his hand up, right? Didn't even realize he did it.
No.
So, but guys, you get this training and you get the videos of your 3 scenarios. And that alone to me was well worth it. Just being able to see how you reacted from kind of the outside looking in, I thought it was great. But this here, there's a lot of people out in the chat know this guy, Mr. Shane. He'll be there, the Creaky Tree Cafe. But Shane's reaction, and of course, guys, look, there's some language. When you get spun up, there's going to be some language. It's just the way it goes. But, for the small ears, if you're worried about it, put some earmuffs on them. But here is Shane's interaction with, this was a ambush, if I remember correctly.
Hey, can you help me? No, buddy, it's okay. It's okay. I don't wish anybody harm. I can't get the car started. Can you help me get the car started? Can you just stand by for a second and just tell me what's happening, brother? What's happening? Hey. Look, I know, but you're a little erratic right now, my man. So I need you to chill out. Let's talk. Look, I'm a friend. I'm not an enemy, bud.
Sure. Yeah.
I hear you.
You hear all those police sirens?
No, I mean, I had the radio on in the car, bro. I don't know what's going on.
I gotta get out of here now.
Stay with me and talk to me.
I gotta get out of here now.
All right, tell me what the problem is. I got you. I got you.
You're the asshole that called the cops.
No. I'm not a cop caller, buddy.
You're
help for me.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Motherfucker.
You fucking asshole.
Fuck you. I don't care if you ain't got no gun. You deserve to get shot.
It's over.
Oh shit! Oh, that's intense. Oh.
To this day, that's one of my favorite ones.
I've got some good ones. I'm gonna make one day a video like 30 minutes of all those types of behaviors and getting drunk watching it, just laughing. Because I tell you what, I tell my people, do not laugh at anybody. But damn, I was so it was so funny. I was laughing behind him. I couldn't even take it.
Oh
We watched a video, and I laid on the table laughing at him because it was so funny. But
I was down at the camera, the video down at the classroom, and I lost it, man. I teared up. I laughed so hard. But at the same time, and luckily Shane was a good sport. We all had a great laugh out of it. But at the same time, it just shows the realism. Like, I mean, he didn't even know what happened. I mean, he pulled his gun and he just stood there. He didn't even know what happened. He was shell shocked.
He was shell shocked. That's awful. We do some things that will shock you to show you how hard it is to come out of it. And then once you come out of that, anything that moves is dead because that brain is going into like, I've got to protect myself no matter what.
That's it. That is it. And he got back into the fight. Let's see, I'm tired, but if you hold my hands, I can't talk. I have the same issue. I'm a hand talker. There's no doubt. But because of those videos, I kid you not, I have quit doing that hand up in front of me thing, because the last thing you want to do is plug your hand. Nobody needs to do that. And we got Mr. Pete Robertucci. Pete has some great videos. Actually, Pete did really good. I mean, he may have said, and speaking of Italian words, he may have said a few words that I've not usually heard Pete say, but that's neither here nor there. That's what happens when you're shocked like that. But what else do you have? Do you have anything else for us?
I have just a quick, I'll go through a slide presentation pretty quick and kind of hit some highlights if we got time.
Yeah, let's do that.
Troysgate, go to the next one. Too, everything we do does have a patent on it. We're sole source to the U.S. government. Go to the next one. Again, we're the sole source next. And two, this right here is really true. Only the dead have seen the end of violence.
That's a great
You
saying.
may not see violence, but it's around you. When you go out and about, just look around you because it could happen at any moment, any time to any of us. Any of us. All right, go to the next one. And so what we do, again, I know we talked about training. We provide you with experiences. So when we give you an experience, we know there's going to be failure. So, when we fail, though, it educates us more than when we do something correct because we don't repeat the failures in some cases because we learn by that. So, again, if you fail, you're not really failing. You're learning a new behavior. All right, next. And it is disruptive technology. So the court system, when we bring up judges, attorneys, DAs, ADAs, we're trying to educate them on how complex it is when we actually go into the use of deadly force. So it does disrupt the system. Next. So again, at the top of that, it talks about the human mind can only learn through real experiences, especially the survival brain. So that survival brain only learns when it's activated. It can't learn unless it's activated. You can't learn by just shooting and playing games. It has to actually go there. So we take you there so that survival brain can learn some things it needs to do in actual bad situations. So it is beyond mental preparedness, and believe me, it is beyond training. Next. Here, I've got it for the warfighter. So what we're doing is trying to prepare you before the actual combat of someone in a road rage incident or someone trying to break in on your house or an active shooter at Walmart. Those unknowns, those things that we think that we would do when the time comes, we usually don't do them. So we have a very safe and controlled environment to take you into the combat zone. So those unknowns that you have become known, if that makes sense. Next. And again, you know, you just can't go out here killing people. To get good at something, like killing chickens. I mean, you get good at killing chickens because you keep killing chickens. Well, humans, we can't do that. So we have an environment that's safe, that you can go in, and in your brain, you're actually taking the life of another human. And that's going to help build the experiences of doing it. It's going to help build the resiliency from the trauma in case you have to do it. And it's going to let you know what you're capable of doing in bad situations. Next. And to recap, because we just talked about all that stuff, we're doing this to save lives, not to take lives. Our purpose and goal is to keep people who are law-abiding citizens safe. And to keep them safe, they have to experience what evil brings to them. So what we do is to save lives. Next. So it is about the neuropsychology of human behavior in daily conflict. And we do that by observing people, experimenting with people, testing and analysis of the videos. So that's what we do here at Troysgate. Next. And again, of everything you have, you got your guns, you got your knives, you got all the stuff. And I think even Bob is triggering my brain to even put this next slide up, I think. So hit the next slide. It's all about your mind. Everything is about your mind. So when you come to us, you need to already know your equipment. And then we're going to work on this piece of equipment that we have with us all the time. So if we don't have a gun with us, then is there a stick we can pick up, or a rock, or a ball bat, or something to protect ourselves? So it's all about getting our mind in gear to do what it needs to do to survive the event. Next. And then 2, what really happens? What happens in your brain before the event, what happens in your brain during the event, and what happens in your brain after the event. We've done studies here with putting EEGs on people's brains, looking at the brain activity, the neurons firing in the brain. We're looking at what it's doing before, during, after. And then once we get that brain conditioned where it needs to be, we put it back on again, and we look at the information for the scientist that's way above my pay grade to understand of what's going on in that human brain. Next. So here, again, it unlocks the unknown regions of the mind. So again, we don't know what you have up there. When you come to us, there's going to be a safety guy right with you, because once we open that brain up into what it needs to do during the survival moment, there's somebody there that's going to help keep you safe. And if we have to, we'll ask you to lay the gun down, have you to back away. If you're crying and things like that, we'll take you out to a safe place. Then we'll get you used to it to come back in again. Next. And it creates realistic beliefs. We unlearn, because we learn negative responses. We unlearn those, and then we learn correct responses to bad situations. Next. And again, wow. When you go into that, it accurately replicates daily conflict. So you experience conscious and unconscious responses, because there'll be some things that you will do unconsciously that you won't know that you've done until you look at the video. And those same responses that we're seeing in this controlled environment, we see them in real combat situations. Next. And again, we're going to have a direct daily exposure. So we're going to give you a direct daily exposure. With that, it's going to help desensitize you somewhat so that you control your fears. And that's why with you, Bob, coming back to it over and over again, it's helped desensitize you to it a little bit so you learn more when you actually go through it. And the exposure therapy helps people understand the complexity of daily force. So it's a therapy for people who have been involved in daily conflict. It is therapy for people who may be involved in daily conflict, so that the brain understands what it may do in bad situations. Next. The logical thinking brain, we talked about that next. The survival brain, you will do some of these things. Run, hide, fight, shoot, shut down, panic attack. You're going to do something. And there's actions without thinking. That's where the training comes into place, where we're running the gun, learning how to put the ammo in, learning how to drop the mag, how to load the mag in, learning how to take cover, all that stuff that training gives you. We will do it without thinking about it. And if you're doing things wrong during training, those training scars will come out. And then we're able to fix them in a controlled environment. Next. And this right here is what's fascinating to me, because I've seen it. Oh, I've seen it with all levels of the government, from the CIA on down. I've seen it with housewives, with husbands. I've seen it with all walks of life with people. Once they go into that zone, the gun empties, and a lot of times when the gun empties, they're either stuck, still squeezing the trigger, or they drop the magazine out, because that takes thinking to drop that mag out. And when they drop that mag out and get ready to load another mag, the killing brain or the deadly brain quits, and it goes back to logical thinking, and then they stop their shooting. So fascinating stuff. Next. And it helps you adapt to the challenges that you may face. Hope you never have to, but if you have to, we're here to help you through that, to prepare for something that we hope never comes your way. Next. And again, the resiliency, the lethality that you will experience will help you with your survival rate. Next. And it's going to help you identify daily threats quicker, because your brain is going to learn that when these guys reach in the pocket, they may pull out a gun, may pull out a knife. It's the behavior of the humans that's causing the brain to operate anyway. So if they're saying, I'm going to kill you, and that action does that, even though it's a cell phone, you will shoot them. It's their action doing it. And it's going to help reduce collateral damage. So when you go into shooting, you don't kill other people around that person, because your brain is like, man, I got to shoot people. And again, this is geared toward the protector, but it's about completing the mission of survival. And then after that mission of someone breaking in your home and you've had to take human life, you're still able to live with yourself for doing what you had to do to survive that moment and to function normally after the event. Next. All right, and the results after you stand with us today is the knowledge of understanding what it's like when you shoot at real humans. The resiliency, the brain learning how to withstand and recover quickly. Survivability, we've talked about. Lethality, am I capable? Some people are not. Some people come up and they can't pull the trigger. That's okay. They don't need to have a gun. And the predictability is going to help you learn more about what you would do in actual situations. And it's going to help you evaluate the training that you've taken thus far. Next. Okay. Next. That's it. I think that's it.
That's it.
All right. Go to the big screen. Hey. Oh, man. We
flew through an hour just like that.
Damn.
It's always a good time, Randy. You know, I really like that. You know, you ended that. You're like, you know, you may come up here and you may not be able to pull a trigger. It just means you don't need a gun. There you have it. Like, I mean, it's just that simple, guys. Like, I can't stress enough. If you ever wondered, you know, if I'm put in this scenario, can I actually do this? This is the closest thing you can get to testing yourself to see if you can. And like Randy said, guys, there is no right, there is no wrong. It's just reacting to the situation. I really like this, however. I got to throw this up here. Pete said, Shane did all those in one scenario. All that, the entire slideshow, he did it in one scenario. Great, Pete. Oh, Tooch nailed it on that one. But, you know, summing it up, guys, what Randy has got going on is your ticket to working out deficiencies before it counts. I mean, the end, man. This is your opportunity to either shine or know that maybe you need to reevaluate how you do things. I mean, and no matter what, just the experience alone will change you. It changed me. I mean, going in there and doing that full day, after that, it changed me for the better, just confidence wise, has been huge. But I can't thank you enough, Randy. You got the last words, man. What do you want to throw out there to everybody?
Look forward to seeing everybody at the Mountain Readiness event. I'll be there.
That's it. That's it. Well, look, guys, this is the last live that I'll be doing until a week after Mountain Readiness, because the week before and the week after, I'm just covered up. We've got classes on both sides. Remember, if you want to get that next level training, Thursday, we've got Homestead Medical doing a class. We've got Brush Beater doing a comms class. A lot of people found out that comms are really important with Hurricane Helene and being cut off and not being able to talk or communicate with anyone for, over a week. So that there is a huge thing if you're into your preps. Of course, afterwards, we have Troysgate. If you would like to go on Monday, that's an option right there. We've got people already coming over. We've got a bunch. It's going to be a great time. Tactical Rifleman's going to have 5 days of range. You can still sign up for that. Jax Janago with Wildcard Wilderness is doing a 3-day land navigation class and wild edible class. Land navigation is a great thing. I need to take that class myself, to be completely honest. It's just I'm going to be picking up garbage, so I'm not going to be able to take that one. But, guys, you got tons of classes on both sides of it. Randy will be there. Make sure to stop in Friday or Saturday and see for yourself. Like, we showed a few videos, but Randy put a bunch of time into that trailer, man. You killed it with that trailer. Good sound system, and you will get a whole lot better experience. And don't be scared of it. I mean, this is, man, if you go to this, it is just it's an experience. Like, enjoy, because it's like a drug. That first one, you can never get it back. That first time, it was great. But and then for the Russ of Oz back behind, go over there to Facebook and give Broken Spokes a like on Facebook. Russ does a lot of stuff for me and Chris and Pete back behind that there, and he's doing that now for other people. If you want to do a podcast of your own, Russ can hook you up like he hooks us up. So go over there and give him some love. Randy, appreciate you, man. Looking forward to seeing you here in like 9 days.
All right, buddy. I'll be there.
Sounds good. Sound good. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be busy as all ever, but I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there. It's going to be a great time. We've got tons of awesome people, tons of classes, after hours, extracurricular activities. We're doing night vision. We got music, food, Living Soil Foundation on Saturday night. We're going to have that going on for all the proceeds are going to Billy Bond's foundation for cleaning up the mess over there, Spruce Pines and Burnsville and all those areas with all the stuff. But check that on our website. I will have you a schedule come Wednesday. It is almost there, I promise, guys. So until next time, which is going to be a few weeks, move with purpose. Stay ready. We'll see you then. Go ahead and roll us out of here, Russ.